So recently a friend of mine wanted to start doing some spheres in Minecraft, and they were going to use World Edit initially. And I left a comment in their message basically saying you gotta build it by hand. You learn best when you learn to build things that you want to build in Minecraft block by block. The path to mastery as a builder in Minecraft, I think, is paved with the blocks you've actually manually placed, and that doesn't matter if it's in creative mode or survival mode. I'm going to show the method of doing a sphere manually, and this will apply to domes. It applies to arches. Let's see if I can do it nice, quick, easy, and to the point here. As you can see, we have two giant floating 3D plus signs here, and we're going to use this to show you how to create a circle and a sphere in Minecraft, and it's very easy. We're going to use a couple of methods. There are two that I am drawing from. I learned this 3D plus methodology from a user by the name of Uni in a video entitled How to Create Spheres in Minecraft, I believe. Should be a link in the description. And I learned how to fill in and make a rounded structure from Andy Xaero when he did a little tutorial on to make a conical roof. What we need to do, we're going to create in between each of these points part of an arch. That's going to be part of our pattern that will create our sphere. Every sphere that you create is going to have a pattern to it. And the trick is to figure out what that pattern might be. So I'm going to try to talk about it as I go along here. So what we need to find here is the most round, best looking shape that we can get here. So let's play with this and see what we can come out with. If we do this, we immediately have a problem because there's no curve. And so that's one of the first things you got to keep in mind when making a circle in Minecraft. You want to make sure that you have enough blocks that you can make a curve. And it's also got to match. Each side has got to match, or you're going to have some funky designs. I think this is okay. We're going to go ahead and try for this and see how it works. Another one that we could do would be possibly something like this. But I'm not so enthralled with that, so we're going to stick with what we've got here. That seems to be good enough to me. We're going to fill this in super fast build mode all the way around between each of these sets of points. Okay, so we're coming along and we've got a pretty decent shape here. So we got to figure out now how we're going to fill this in. We're going to do that by continuing to build the framing. I will go into super fast build mode and you guys can see what I'm doing. Now I'm looking at this and I'm not quite liking it. We're stuck with another problem like we had before where it's not quite rounded enough. So let's see if we can adjust this. So now our problem is it's too much of a square, so we're going to stick with what we first had. But this is part of the process of figuring out where these rings are supposed to be. This is why I encourage building it by hand, because once you understand by placing the blocks, the shapes and the patterns, I'm always talking about looking for the pattern, finding the pattern. Once you understand the pattern, there is literally nothing that you can't build. Now what you'll notice is that pattern that we've just done on the sides will be the same for the top and bottom. Okay, so now we start to fill it in. Sometimes it's easier to fill it in from the inside, and let's go inside and take a look at some things. One of the structures you're going to see inside a sphere when done correctly, very hard to kind of show you here, but it's this structure right here. You'll see that it's the same on all four sides. Now sometimes it's easier to fill it in from the inside, other times it's easier from the outside. We'll try outside first. So let's see about filling this in and seeing what kind of thing we've got here. So we're just going to start with Just really just wrapping it all up here with all of these holes. And we're going to see what that looks like and if you like it or not. There's always a little bit of room for some flexibility and figuring out what design you like the best. Main thing you're looking for is that your sphere isn't too flat-sided and it looks pretty good. Could be visually interesting. Alright, so that just leaves us with one issue, and that is I saw one little hole down here. I'm guessing that what we need is just a block right there, which is fine. Make sure we don't have any other. Oh, we got another one here we're missing. And then we got to clear these extra blocks from inside. So we probably missed one of the rings down here at the bottom. Now there's one more thing I should show you. Okay, so first off, you can see right away where we have extra blocks and they don't belong. That should be pretty obvious right here. You can see where they are. So everything here looks good on the inside. But there is a flaw with this particular sphere design. We may not be able to address it here, but do you see how this is all the same? Ideally, what you want to have this middle portion come out a little bit more. So these two here should each stick out one block more. We're not going to redo that here, just going to give you a real quick camera view of it right now. So here's our sphere. And that's how you do a sphere manually, using this method that I have shown you here with the framing. We're going to now apply that to this. So you see that our shape here is 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to be the same all the way around, and that's going to create our sphere here. Now in some ways a bigger sphere is a little easier because you can see the pattern more easily and you can have more detail. Otherwise it's harder because you have a lot more work you gotta do to fill all this in. Let's see if we can find the other ring framework. Okay, so if this is at 3 to the end, we might want this one to be this way. Okay, so that's the kind of circle we would have were we to go one more out. If we don't like that, then all we have to do is simply shorten this and save for when it goes out more for further down, which would probably look better in the long run anyway. All right, I like that better, I think. So we're gonna go ahead and stick with that all the way around. Okay, our sphere is in place, and before we put in some more framing, let me know in the comments if you're starting to see the pattern on how this goes together. Also, be sure to post in my Discord if you wish. Let me know what you're building and how it's going for you with this. I'm curious to see what your guys' projects and what you're working on. We're going to go ahead and stick with keeping it equivalent a little bit longer. it's starting to come together, isn't it? Now you might be wondering, why go to all this trouble of doing the frame? Well, by having this frame, once we fill it in, we know that the shape that we want will be in place. So let's finish out our frame and then we can start filling it in. One thing to keep in mind right here is we're working with this circle here. That's around here at the top. But then if we come over here, now we're not working with that anymore, we're working with this circle down here. You don't ever want to forget where you are working, where you're located. It can get really confusing. Okay, this shape right here, you should look vaguely familiar. This is the same shape that you're going to see on the inside when we're all done. Alrighty, here's where it gets tricky, where we have a little bit of subjectivity available to us. Different ways that we can fill this in. We're going to fill this in as best we can and see the completed result. Now here we've got to go in this direction and this direction with whatever we're doing. And when you're done, you should only have a little T-shaped hole like this. If you're close to the best pattern you're probably going to be able to come up with. And then filling this in is going to be our last task of the day. So now you can see that the bigger the sphere, the more detail you can get, and you can see that our sphere is looking really good and coming along really well. There's no hard and fast rules, it's just fill in the rest of it, make it look as good as we can, let's see how far we can get. There you can see our pattern again. And there we have it, folks, the inside of our completed sphere. And now let's go to the outside and see how it looks. That is our completed sphere, and as you can see, we have a very nice design. We did it by hand. We learned how these things are put together, and that is the basic process for creating a sphere in Minecraft. Hope you guys have enjoyed this little tutorial / demonstration. If you have any comments, feel free to post them in the comments section below. Please be sure to use the Discord link to join my Discord and post your screenshots of the things that you build using the information from this tutorial. I'm curious to see how this has helped you to learn how to build circles and spheres and arches and things like that in Minecraft. If you want to support the channel, there is an affiliate link below for Happy Hippo Kratom. So if you're interested in something that can help you manage your pain, please be sure to click that affiliate link and stay on that page during your order. And I want to thank you for your support.